Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me. And I say, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. And every day I just simply say, I'm so grateful. Even though I don't know what I'm grateful for, sometimes so grateful. Even when things look really bad, so grateful, because you never know what it means. So grateful. I say I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Now you want to do some movements with me? Gratitude before me, behind. Gratitude behind me, to the left. Gratitude to the left of me, to the right. Gratitude to the right of me, above. Gratitude above me, below. Gratitude below me, within me. Gratitude within, all around me. Gratitude all around. And I say, I'm so grateful. You just open up. So grateful. And always to yourself. I'm so grateful. To the people that you love. I'm so grateful. And release, let it go. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to yourself now. I'm so grateful. Yes. I'm so grateful. I'm so, now if you want to stand up, you can, or if you want to sit, whatever you want to do. Gratitude before. If you stand up, you got to put a little wiggle. Gratitude behind, to the left. Gratitude to the left of me, to the right. Gratitude to the right of me, above me. Gratitude above me, below. Gratitude below me, within me. Gratitude within, all around me. Gratitude all around. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Look how good you are. I'm so grateful. 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 Oh yes, I am. I'm so grateful. Now put your hands over your heart and close your eyes for a moment. And just think about what you're grateful for. Just scan your life. Think about, get pictures of people in your mind's eye. It could be kitties or doggies, your pets. It could be the person that's standing right next to you. This community, Reverend Abigail. Just give thanks right now. Just see your life. Let's sing one more time. Oh, gratitude before me, behind. Gratitude behind me, to the left. Gratitude to the left of me, to the right. Gratitude to the right of me, above me. Gratitude above me. Gratitude below me, within me. Gratitude within, all around me. Gratitude all around. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. To yourself. I'm so grateful to the people you love. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so release, let it go. I'm so grateful. 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 And just open up your arms. I'm so grateful. Do that again. I'm so grateful. Now, if you would, I want you to turn to the person next to you and tell them one thing you're grateful for this morning. Just one thing. One thing. I started to swim, and it just was like this gigantic yes for me. And aside from that, they were really cute guys on this new swim team. So what can I say? But I started swimming again on a team, and I just started to have fun because now there were no coaches, there were no swim meets. It was just fun, and I started to just really enjoy it. But the thing that really became the next big thing in my life was I was asked to swim across Lake Tahoe as a relay team. And I'd never been in cold water before. And people said, well, when you jump in, don't worry because you just won't be able to breathe for about 5 minutes, but just keep going. Just keep swimming. So I did this swim, and it was the first time in my life that I felt this incredible accomplishment, because all the years of being a pool swimmer, going back and forth, this time I looked back and we had all come from that shore. And it was so exciting that I said, I want more of this feeling. And so from that, I joined this place called the Dolphin Club, which is in San Francisco at Ghirardelli Square Aquatic Park. And being in cold water is a whole other spiritual thing that I will talk about in a moment. But the thing I want to share with you today is I have to admit that my dad was right. Tell your little person in it that mom's going to be right. That my dad was right, that the best lessons I've learned have really come from swimming. They've molded my life. They've molded my life as a musician, as a speaker, with everything. And I wanted to share some of those with you today. And the first lesson that I really learned was this. Let it be easy. Struggle is not required. So have you ever watched someone who doesn't know how to swim really well? They thrash around and they almost look like they're drowning because they're thrashing so much. So did anyone watch Michael Phelps in the Olympics at all? Did you watch any of those time trials that we just did, the pre-Olympics? So when Michael Phelps swims, and if you don't know who Michael Phelps is, well, you all know who Michael Phelps is. So when he swims, what's really interesting is that there's hardly any splash. When his arms enter the water, when he's doing butterfly especially, I mean, butterfly is a stroke that you go like this and you splash a lot. When Michael Phelps does it, it is so precisioned that his hands enter the water with hardly any splash at all. Now, I don't know about you, but I tend to make things sometimes hard in my life. And what I've noticed is that when I resist something, it persists. When I make things really hard, they get harder. And so one of the things that I learned when I joined the Dolphin Club is that the water is kind of cold, because I'm swimming in an aquatic park in the bay. And what happens is, what's really fascinating is that we all have different ways of approaching this. It's a portal. Now, right now, the water is about 59, 60 degrees. Now, when you enter that water, your body goes, hello, what are you doing? This isn't fun. And what's so fascinating is you see all the different people, how they approach this. There's this one woman who, I don't know how she does this. She literally goes in this far, then this far. This is all on the shore. Then this far. It'll take her a half an hour. Finally, the water is up to here, and then she'll dive in. How she does, I think it's just so painful to think about. Each little part of you is going to get numb. Then there are people like me who go back and forth, and and I'm just procrastinating, and I'm just going back, and I keep looking at the water, and I'm procrastinating, and then I go, oh, and I just go in. But there are other people who just sit there and look at it forever, and they like psych up. They're just like, if they wait long enough, the water will change temperatures. But I'll tell you something, what happens is, the most profound thing that happens is, if you go in going, it's cold, it's really cold, oh God, what happens? It's cold. It's really cold. So what is the philosophy that we've learned here? That the more you just allow and surrender, the more you have in your mind what it is that you want. And we've learned in religious science that the main thing is whatever you think is what will be. So if I go in there going, oh my God, it's cold, it's going to be really cold. But the more I allow myself to surrender, and that will be the word I will be using quite a lot in this talk, the more I allow myself to surrender every single time I go into that water, that I allow that water, that yes, it's cold. And it's really great as I'm saying this to you, because actually I curse like a sailor when I'm going in, but but the idea behind it is the more that I allow that water to just envelop me and be one with it, as weird as that sounds, to just allow myself to just feel it, be one with it. I go through this portal that is so magnificent. Because once you get past it, what's really amazing about this, now, granted, I do this all the time, so it only takes me like a couple minutes. But once you get past it and you hang in there for those couple minutes, you get to this nirvana state. Because all of a sudden you're out there in this beautiful blue. I see Alcatraz over there. I see the Golden Gate Bridge. The fog is coming in. It's so incredibly beautiful. And you see all the people on the shore looking at you going, are you nuts? But they're there and I'm here. So the question is, what portals do you have in your life that are right there? How do you deal with them? How do you go through them? Are you resisting it? Is there a portal right now that's up in your life that you need to go through? That you're going back and forth going, you know, and one of the things about this talk today is I know that the subject is about being gentle with yourself and loving kindness and forgiveness. One of the songs that I wrote a while ago is a song called I Will Be Gentle with Myself. I will be gentle with myself, and I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. And the bridge says, I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. So it's looking at those portals and saying, I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will allow myself to go through that portal when I'm ready. But when you're ready, you know it. You know it. You know when you're procrastinating. You know when you're going back and forth on the shore. You know when it's time to let go of that shore and move into that greater expression of whoever you're supposed to be. So that's one of the things that I do with swimming, is I allow myself to look at this every time I go in as a portal to practice surrender. You know, I noticed that you are having a movie next week here, The Shawshank Redemption. And I want to talk to you for a second. I wasn't planning to do this, but I want to tell you a little story about this movie because this is a huge portal. The person who wrote it and directed it is a good friend of mine. His name is Frank Darabont. And I went to school with Frank in Hollywood High School. We were acting buddies, and we've been friends for, well, a million years, since high school. But fast story about this, Frank was a struggling writer in Hollywood. Talking about going back and forth on the shore. He was a struggling writer. He was just, working really hard. He'd stay up all night long, writing these scripts for people. And he was, he was writing a lot of scripts like The Blob and all these kind of horror movie things. And I was like, okay, I don't really know what you do, but this is kind of weird what you do. But he would write these scripts, and he just kept persisting and going through these portals of going, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. And he bought the rights to The Shawshank Redemption from Stephen King. It was just a short story. And he held on to this for years, and finally he wrote the story. And he started taking it around to all the different movie studios. And Castle Rock Entertainment, Rob Reiner's studio, wanted to take that movie, and with Rob Reiner directing it. Now, Frank is a struggling writer. He's driving around in a lime green beat-up Toyota. He lives in a little bachelor's apartment in the Hollywood Hills. He's just struggling to make ends meet. And Rob Reiner says, I'll give you $1 million for your script. Now, $1 million would buy him a brand new car, for one thing, that would work. But he had such faith in what he wanted and what was true for him. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. He allowed himself to take that time, even though they were pressuring him, saying, $1 million, but it's my movie. And he turned him down. And all these other people started coming forth. And he turned them all down. He said, this is my one shot. He wanted to direct it. He was an unknown. He hadn't directed anything. But he stayed with it. He stayed with that conviction of what was true for him. And the result was one of the biggest movies in movie history, and put him on the map, and then he made other movies from then. But you should go see this movie. So the other thing that I learned is about being present, because when you're in cold water, it makes all of your senses be very acute, because everything's very alive. And what I noticed is when we had races with the Dolphin Club, we would do things like we would race from Alcatraz, or we'd race the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, I'm a competitive swimmer. I'm a really good swimmer. I want to win. So all the races I would do across the Golden Gate Bridge, I would always put my head down and I would swim really fast, and I would usually be within the top 5 of people coming in. And there was one guy named George who would always come up to me before every race and go, I'm going to beat you. And I'd be like, oh, really? And we'd have this little thing back and forth. like this. And he'd always spar with me. And every single time I would get out there, I mean, we're talking about underneath the Golden Gate Bridge. This is a lot of water. George would be right next to me battling it out. I mean, I'd see him right there and we'd just battle it out. And we're like, racing to the end. And, just every single year after year after year, it was always, he would win one time, I would win the next time, but every time it would be this thing. So one year, we're going along and we're at a really good pace. And all of a sudden I look and he's not there. I mean, he just disappeared. And, I'm swimming and I'm going, oh, good. I'm beating him now. But I look back and he's way back there and he's stopped. And for some reason in that moment, it just floored me so much that, we'd been battling it halfway across. It's like, why is he stopping? And I go back and go, George, what are you doing? And he was doing water ballet. He was going, no, like this. And he's swimming like this. And I'm going, what are you doing? We're racing. And he goes, I'm doing water ballet because when will we ever be underneath the Golden Gate Bridge again in this beauty? I'm going to take it in. And it was just this profound moment of realizing, well, duh, why do I have my head down in this? When are you underneath the Golden Gate Bridge? How many people do that? So I joined him. We started to dance like this, and we're just, we have our little feet up and we're doing, and all the people that we normally swim with that were, used to being right around us, everybody was stopping and looking and going, what? So we had about 20 people all of a sudden doing water ballet in the middle of the boat and going, bridge. Being present to wherever you are. Awe and wonder is around us always. We just have to choose. I have a song on my new album called I Choose. What do I want to be today? I choose. What do I want to say today? What do I want to feel today? I choose. It's up to me to choose. And every moment we have that choice. So I do that. I would say that moment of seeing the beauty, I don't swim the same way anymore. After that day, I stopped being in the top 5 of the races. Now I'm really fine if I'm number 50. Because I want to see it. I want to experience it. I want to be in it. And it's affected everything else in my life. The other thing is about trusting my intuition. It's very common that we can have other people influence us about what we should do, who we should be. And so I had another incident that was really interesting. I usually swim from the spring till about December, usually about November. But this one year I thought I'm going to swim all the way to my birthday, which is December 19th. And let me tell you, that's when the water is coming down in temperature. It is getting colder and colder, but I had something in my mind that was like, I'm going to try doing this. And every year they have what is called the Alcatraz Qualifier, that you have to swim 2 laps around Aquatic Park in order to qualify to swim on New Year's Day. I'm sure you've seen people, all the nuts, these are my friends, on New Year's Day that swim from Alcatraz at the crack of dawn. And I knew I wasn't going to do that swim, but I thought I'm going to make it to my birthday, December 19th, and see if I could just go 2 times around, or 1 time around, rather. And so on that day, I got in with everybody, and I was thrilled. I went 1 time around, and I'm going, that's good enough for me. It's my birthday. That's my little gift to myself. I made it to December 19th. And I start to come in, and other people are going around for the second lap. So I start to come in, and here's this guy standing on the dock going, Drucker, you're a wuss. And what do? I go, no, I'm not. And I turn around and I start going back for another lap. Well, I'll tell you something. That was another pinnacle moment in my life, because what happened was halfway around Aquatic Park, I started to get hypothermia because my body wasn't trained to go that long. I was good for 20 minutes, but now doing 40 minutes, not so much. And so what happens when you get hypothermia, all of the heat goes into your core and your limbs don't work so good. So all of a sudden I'm swimming like my arms like 2x4s, and I'm looking at the dock where I'm supposed to be coming into, and it's like a Fellini movie going, it's like it's going back and forth, and I'm getting completely wacky. But somehow I make it in, Somehow I make it in, and I look at my watch just as I hit the shore, and it was 9:43 in the morning, which is exactly the moment I was born. Now, you know you're not doing well when you go up to people, when your mouth is not even working because it's so cold, and I'm going up to total strangers going, "In my birthday, in my birthday, in my birthday, in my birthday." And so now someone just took me and they said, "We need to do something with her." And they said that my shoulders were like a block of ice, and they just took me into the sauna. And what they do is they put you in the dead dog position of putting your arms up like this. And then they gave me brandy. I was feeling no pain at that point. But my point is, once again, another life lesson. Someone else can look at what's right for you, but if it's not right for you, you've got to trust. You got to trust your heart. In all of my women's retreats, the biggest thing I do every single day, I start off the retreat this way, and we do this every day, is I have everyone put their hands over their heart. And you get to put your finger up like this, like you're saying, give me a minute, or seeing where the wind's blowing. But you take a breath and you say, what does my heart have to say? So you do that every morning. What does my heart have to say today? What is my heart telling me? So when you do that, you start your day from a place of centeredness and groundedness, of being able to really check in. For years I did, I've worked for many years for an organization called Bread and Roses in Marin County, where we go to convalescent homes and hospitals. And I was part of a little theater troupe. And there was a little puppet show that I did in Oakland Children's Hospital, and my character was called Dr. Heart, and I had hearts all over me with a big heart smock, and I had this little stethoscope, and my job in this little play was to go up to each of the kids, and I'd just go, what does your heart have to say? What does your heart have to say? And these little lammy poos would look up at me and go, well, my heart is kind of sad because I think I'm really sick, and my parents, I can tell they're so nervous. And I would just let them just say what they needed to say. My heart wants to just go out and play. But if you allow yourself every day to just say, what does my heart have to say to me today? If I could give you anything about what loving kindness is, what being gentle with yourself is, it's this. To check in with yourself every day. To say, what is my intuition? What does my heart say that is needed today? Maybe you just need to be quiet. Maybe you need to go off by yourself. Maybe you need to cancel that appointment. What does my heart have to say? So the other thing that I learned is life does not always go in a straight line, which really bugs me. Because I want to go in a straight line, and I want life to go the way I want to go, because I am in control of everything. Is everyone with me on this one? So the other thing I did just needs to work my way. So the other thing I did that's kind of wacky for a musician is I was part of a group of women, there were 6 of us total, who were the first American women to swim the English Channel. So in 1989, I was part of a group of women. We were the very first American women. They had never had an American team do it. And what's really interesting about swimming the English Channel is that in this controlling way that I have, if I went straight, and if I'm here standing on the shore in Dover and I'm going to Calais, France, which is 22 miles across, if I swim straight, I'm not going to make it. The way that it works is you have to go in a zigzag all the way across. So you do 32 miles. But what's interesting about that is that you are putting all of your faith in the boat that is going alongside of you. And that boat, in this talk right now, to me representing God, faith, surrender, letting go, I had to keep following where he was telling me to go. So I was the second swimmer in, and each swimmer swims an hour at a time. And when I got in, he starts directing me to New York, and I'm swimming to New York. And the entire time, my little brain is going, why am I going to New York? I'm supposed to be going over there. Why am I going this way? And I'm just going, me. But what he was doing was taking me this way, so that the next gal went this way, next gal that, and eventually 10 hours and 54 minutes later, we're on the other side. But what I've known about my life, and see if this is true for you, is that when you surrender, when you let go of that shore and float into that mystery, who knows where you're supposed to really go? Who knows where your pilot boat is taking you? That could be seeing the bigger picture. See, when I was down there and I'm swimming, I can't see the maps or the compass, but the boat can. And the boat could say, if I will go this way, and then I take the next woman and she goes that way, we're going to get to our destination. So, when I first started doing all of this that I'm doing today, I had no idea I'd be standing here talking to you. This was not on my radar, on my compass. Just wasn't. But that's what Spirit brought me to. Each little thing that I did kept bringing me to a new place over here, and then making a course correction and going over here and going, what does my heart have to say? I'm doing this job. What does this feel like? Oh, maybe I'm going to go over this way. And the more I would flow with it, look at how I'm moving. There's no resistance. I'm just allowing myself to go. Now, when you're in the process, sure, there's a lot of resistance. You're going, no, I want to hold on. I know this path. I'm in control here. I might be in a job that I don't really like, but I know it. But maybe Spirit is calling you to do something more. I have a song I wrote a while ago. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call to be someone I've never been before. I feel the call of something more. And it's asking me, what am I here for? What am I here for? What are you here for? To really know that, to really just allow yourself to flow and see whatever else Spirit is asking you to do. Do you know that when a plane is going from San Francisco to Hawaii, it's off course 98% of the time? Talk about being gentle with yourself. It reminds me of my GPS. Her name is Priscilla. And I call Priscilla my God positioning system. And what's really fabulous about Priscilla, and she also, mine has an English accent. So instead of doing what we tend to do in our minds when we do something wrong, let's say I do something different than what she says, she doesn't say, you idiot, I told you 5 blocks back to make a right-hand turn. Why are you doing this? Instead, she simply says, recalculating. Recalculating. So can we do that with ourselves? Can we do that with ourselves? If just when you mess up, when you go off course, when you do something that is not quite right, that the way to practice loving kindness to yourself is simply bring yourself back to center and going, oh, we're recalculating. That's it, recalculating. The other thing that swimming really taught me was about connections. You think of swimming as a solitary sport, and actually, the sweetest and deepest connections I have are with the people on my team that support me. Actually, next week, I am once again swimming across Lake Tahoe with 5 other folks. We will get in at 7:30 in the morning and swim, all the way across. Each person does, 30 minutes and then 10-minute legs. But the sweetest thing that ever happened to me, and, going back to my dad saying, this is a great thing for you to do, and like, whatever, is that when my dad was probably about a week away from leaving this planet, he had cancer. And my dad he loved swimming. He was a competitive swimmer. I mean, he loved swimming. And, he could hardly do anything at the last week of his life. But one day, for some wild reason, I said, you want to go swimming? He went, you think we could do that? And I took him up to his little tennis club that had a little pool up there. And I walked him out. And he was so frail at this point, but got him in the water, and we started swimming together. And at the end of the lap, he turned to me and said, oh, thank you so much. And I remember turning around, and my eyes with my little goggles were filling with water, but I knew that this was the greatest gift I could give him, because what it was just he was being fully held. Just held, surrendering, releasing in that moment. I will only go as fast as the slowest part. How can we be sweet to ourselves? How can we let it be easy? How can we allow Spirit to hold us like water? I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let Spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free as I continue walking in this mystery. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I'm more loving every moment, every day. Now there may be walls and there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose. I'll say that line again because I've talked about it quite a few times in this talk. I can choose. I'll say it one more time in case you didn't really get it. I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I've thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. If you want to sing with me, I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I'm more loving every moment, every day. And I'm more loving every moment, and I am kinder every moment. And I am every moment, every day. I will surrender. I will surrender every moment, every day. So as my new little mentor, Dory, from Finding Dory says, just keep swimming. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No, I did it.
That chair, right?
I'll do more, but I'm looking at the time. I don't want to keep you guys
Thank
late.
you so much, Karen. That was absolutely phenomenal.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'll do another song if you want, but... All right.
Do we want another song?
I'm just looking at my time. I'm being a good girl. Because my dad always said you have to just be on time and be good. Okay. So actually, then I think what I'm going to do is play you a new song from my new CD. And this one really, wait a minute, where did this go? So this one is, you're going to sing backups for me? Actually, I'm going to have you all sing backups. So this is really, this is one of my, I take all of my things that I learn and I put them in songs so I can remember. So this is it. My big thing. Let it be easy. Can I hear an amen on that? Amen. I'm gonna let it be easy. I'm gonna make the choice every day to trust my voice. I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna let it be easy. I'm gonna swim with no splashes. Oh yeah. Can you turn up a little bit for me? Just a tad. call it the max here. I used to run around, beat myself to the ground. I thought this was the way to be. I thought that true success was having so much stress, till I heard a voice calling to me. Here's your part. Let it be easy. Again. Let it be easy. I'm gonna make a choice to trust my voice, to trust my voice. Let it be easy. You guys are good. Now that I see the light, I won't work all day and night. I vow to take good care of me. Don't need to run a race. Well, I'm choosing ease and grace, enjoying the ride effortlessly. Here we go. 3-part harmony. Easy. What's our choreography? You have some moves for this, I bet. Easy. I'm gonna make a choice to trust my voice. Let it be easy. So here's a few other swimming quotes I have. If you feel yourself floundering in the sea of life, try leaning back and floating. Let yourself be supported. Gaze into the beautiful sky and allow time for your spirit to be refreshed. Then when you are feeling stronger, simply choose a direction and start swimming. I love that one. Easy. Every day. Easy. Then make a choice. I'm gonna make a choice. Trust my voice. Trust my voice. Let it be easy. I'm gonna make a... Oh, easy. Wait. I get the job done. Bridge. Easy. My favorite line. When I'm having fun. Duh. Easy. Every day. Easy. It's the only way. It's the only way. Here we go now. Easy. I'm gonna let it be easy. I'm gonna make a choice to trust my voice. Let it be easy. I'm gonna make a choice to trust my voice. Let it be easy. I'm gonna make a choice to trust my voice and my heart. And every day I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna let it be easy. I'm just gonna keep on swimming and let it be easy. So it is.